Hi, my dear students. I am Sunira from Department of Physics, Government College, Madapalli. In this lecture, we will learn about differential calculus, which is useful to study electrodynamics. In this section, we discuss differential operators used in scalar and vector fields. Okay? So, in your mathematics classes, you learned about differentiations. So, here also we need differentiation. So, consider a function of one variable. Let it be f. Okay. So, here this f of x. F of x is a function of a single variable x. Now, we can find out its derivative df by dx. So what is its meaning? Df by dx or derivative? It tells us how rapidly the function varies with x. For example, suppose the independent variable x changes by an amount dx. Then the corresponding change in the function is represented by df. Okay, so there is a connection between this change in f and change in x. This connection, this proportionality factor is called the derivative of the function f df by dx. That is, this is the change in f due to a small change in x. Here the proportionality factor, this is given by df by dx. This represents the derivative of the function f with respect to x. Okay, so what is its meaning? That means df by dx, the derivative is gives us the slope of the function, slope of the graph f versus x. If you plot a graph between the f along y-axis and x along x direction, you get a graph. Okay, f of x. If you take slope of this graph, it is called df by dx. Okay, so it gives us how rapidly the function f varies with the variable x. For example, here there are two plots. You can see two plots here. In this plot, the function f varies with x like this. Okay. If you find out the slope of this function df by dx, it is a small value. Why? Because as a change in x produces a small change in f. So its slope is always a small value or its derivative is small. But if you look this graph, you can see here the function f varies very rapidly with x. Okay, very rapidly varies with x. So what happens if you find out the slope of the function or the derivative of the function? It is a large value because here the function varies rapidly with x. Okay, so what it means, the derivative of a function? After all, it means the slope of a graph. Okay, or the how rapidly a function f varies as its independent variable changes. In this case, here the independent variable is x. So as x changes, how much f vary? In this case, it's a small value, df by dx is small, but here it is a large value because f varies rapidly with x. Okay. Now, suppose we have a function which depends on three variables. For example, you try to measure temperature in your room. Then what happens if you measure temperature at different points in the room? you get different value. And usually you know that we measure in 3 dimension. So here the temperature is a function of three variables: x, y and z. Okay, so the function T, the temperature, the variation of the temperature is assumed as a function of three variables: x, y and z. Suppose now we want to measure the change in temperature T if you vary the independent variable. Then the trouble comes because now there are three variables. If you move along x direction, you get a change in temperature. If you move along y direction, you get another change in temperature. If you move along z direction, you get another value. If you move some other arbitrary direction, then also you get another value. So what we have to do? Now the problem is a bit complicated. In the previous case, the function depends only on one variable, but now there are three independent variables. So the temperature T depends on x, y and z. So to discuss these type of problems, we use partial derivatives. Okay, so in this case, a small change in temperature dt corresponding to a small variation in dx, dy and dz is represented by dt equal to dou t by dou x into dx plus dou t by dou y into dy plus dou t by dou z into dz. Okay, in our previous equation, you know that we write the change in f df equal to df by dx into dx. But this time there are three variables. So we use partial derivatives. This is called partial derivative of temperature with respect to x. Okay, so if we move along x direction, this much change happens to the variable t, slope. Okay, if you move along y direction, the proportionality factor or the slope is given by this. If you move along z direction, the corresponding slope is this. But we know that the temperature has dependence on all these directions. So the variation is given by this expression. The change in temperature is given by dt equal to dou t by dou x into dx plus dou t by dou y into dy plus dou t by dou z into dz. Okay. Now these terms dou t by dou x, dou t by dou y and dou t by dou z are called the partial derivatives along the three coordinate direction. Okay. Now we can rewrite this equation 1 in a new form. Suppose we can write this as dt equal to dou t by dou x x cap plus dou t by dou y y cap plus dou t by dou z z cap. Now this is a vector quantity, right? Taking dot product with infinitesimal displacement vector. Okay, so here dx x cap plus dy y cap plus dz z cap. Okay, so if you take the dot product, you can write this as dt equal to gradient t dot dl. Okay, this operator is called gradient. The gradient of t is denoted by this symbol del t. Okay, so now introduced here a new operator, gradient operator. Okay, this is known as the generalized derivative. Gradient t is known as the generalized derivative. This is the expression gradient t. Okay, dou t by dou x x cap plus dou t by dou y y cap plus dou t by dou z z cap. This is called gradient t. This is a generalized derivative. Okay, this is a vector differential operator. Now, in order to get its geometrical meaning, we can write this change in temperature dt in a new form. Now we know that dt equal to gradient t dot dl, where dl represent infinitesimal displacement vector. Okay. Now using the using the abstract definition of dot product, you can write this as modulus of gradient t modulus of dl cos theta, where this theta is the angle between this gradient and the infinitesimal displacement vector. Angle between the gradient and infinitesimal displacement vector. Okay, using this expression, we can find out the geometrical meaning. For that, assume that this infinitesimal distance is fixed. That means this mod dl is a constant. Okay, this is a constant. And now we try to vary this theta such that we get the maximum change dt. Okay, that means we fix this dl, distance is fixed now. Okay, now we want to change theta. What is theta? Theta is the angle between the infinitesimal displacement vector mod dl, the vector dl, and the gradient of the temperature gradient T. Okay, now we vary this theta such that we get the maximum change in temperature. Okay, so when it happens only for theta equal to 0. When theta equal to 0, cos theta equal to 1. That is the maximum value of cos theta. Right? So, what we get? dt, the change in temperature, is maximum or is greatest along the direction of gradient t. Okay, that means if this displacement vector is along the gradient t, the direction of gradient t, then we get maximum change in temperature t. Okay, that means theta equal to 0. If theta equal to 0, this gradient t and the displacement vector both are in the same direction, then only you get theta equal to 0. Okay, so dt is greatest, or change in temperature is greatest along the direction of gradient t. Okay, that is the geometrical meaning of the gradient. The gradient points in the direction of maximum increase of the function t. Gradient along in the direction of maximum increase of the function t. Okay, similarly, the magnitude of the gradient gives the slope along this maximal direction. Okay, the magnitude of the gradient gives the slope along the maximal direction. Now, suppose this our gradient is 0. That means the gradient vanishes. Then what happens? If the gradient vanishes, the change in the temperature is 0. dt equal to 0. Okay. Then the corresponding point is called the stationary point of the function. Okay. If we find out the gradient at a point x, y, z, if it is equal to 0, it means that the change in the temperature is 0. That means it is a stationary point of the function t of x, y, z. Okay, this stationary point could be a minimum or a maximum or a saddle point. Okay, so in order to find out the extrema of a function of three variables, you have to set its gradient equal to 0. Okay, so remember this thing. If you want to find out the extrema means it can be maxima, minima or saddle point or stationary point. If you find out extrema of a function of three variables, you can set its gradient equal to 0. This gives you its extrema. Extrema means maxima, minima or saddle point. Okay. Now we can apply these concepts to a problem. Just understand what happens. For that, find the gradient of the r, magnitude of the position vector r equal to root of x square plus y square plus z square. Okay, so we already found that the gradient operator acting on a scalar function temperature. This time the scalar function is the position r equal to root of x square plus y square plus z square. Okay. Now you can find out its partial derivatives dou r by dou x. How to find out partial derivative? You have to take all other variables as constant. The case of r, there are root of x square plus y square plus z square. So to take dou r by dou x, treat y square and z square as constants. Okay, then you get its derivative as x by root of x square plus y square plus z square. Okay, similarly in this case dou r by dou y, if you find out dou r by dou y, you have to treat x and z are constants. Okay, so what happens? You get here y by root of x square plus y square plus z square. Similarly for dou r by dou z. Okay, now we can substitute in the expression for gradient. You get gradient r equal to vector r by r. This is equal to r cap. Okay, so the gradient of the position, gradient of r gives you the unit vector along the direction of position. Now we learned about a new operator, gradient operator. In the context of this gradient of t, this operator is represented by del. This is called as differential vector operator. Del is called as differential vector operator. Why it is called like this? Because you can understand from the expression itself that this is a vector operator. Why it is called operator? Because until it operates on a function, this is incomplete. Okay, that means if you write in this gradient t, if you write only these terms inside this parenthesis, not this t, this is not complete because these are dou by dou x, dou by dou y, dou by dou z, all these are operators. This has meaning only if there comes a function. Okay, if there comes t, then this has a meaning, otherwise this thing has no meaning. It's a naked operator. Okay, so gradient is called an operator, not a vector. Gradient is not a differential vector. Gradient is a differential vector operator. Okay, remember the term operator. Okay, so this is a vector quantity and this thing has differentials and this is an operator. So this gradient is called a differential vector operator. Okay, its direction is shown here, x cap dou by dou x, y cap dou by dou y, z cap dou by dou z. This operator is called del. The terms in the parenthesis is called del. So del t, t is the scalar function. Del t represent gradient t. Okay, so del t never means del multiplied by t, but del acts upon t. Remember the difference. Del t is not equal to t del. Why? Del is a differential vector operator. So it acts on something. Del acts on temperature. Okay. Now Del can operate on three ways. As we already learned, vectors can operate in different ways, three ways, major three ways. Since this del is a vector operator, it can perform in three ways. The first case is del operator acts upon a scalar function. This is called gradient. We learned now. Assuming temperature is a scalar function. If this del vector differential operator acts upon temperature, it is called gradient. Okay. So vector differential operator acts upon a scalar function is called gradient. Similarly, if this del, the vector differential operator, acts upon a vector function, it can perform in two ways. First one is dot product or divergence, and the second one is cross product or vector product. In the case of divergence, it gives you a scalar output, a scalar function. Okay, so divergence of a vector function gives us scalar, but the curl of a vector function gives us another vector. Okay, so gradient operator acts on a vector just like a dot product gives us divergence, and the del operator or the gradient operator acts upon a vector v just like a cross product gives us curl of the function. Now we learn about this divergence. Okay, so divergence of a vector function is defined as del dot v. So here to this differential vector operator acts upon another vector, not on a scalar. Okay, here vector v, this is another vector. So this differential vector operator acts upon another vector through dot product. That is why we put here dots, del dot v. Okay, since this del is an operator, this is not equal to v dot del. Remember that thing. Del dot v not equal to v dot del. Both are different. Okay, in the case of v dot del, this del is a naked operator. It waits for somebody to come upon to act on it. At the same time here, this del operator acts upon v, the vector function v. Okay, so you can write it like this: x cap dou by dou x plus y cap dou by dou y plus z cap dou by dou z. This is the gradient differential vector operator. Dot product with vector v, vx x cap plus vy y cap plus vz z cap. Now we can take dot product just like we do in the case of vectors. Okay, multiplying like components and adding. So here dou by dou x dot vx x cap. So you get dou vx by dou x. Okay, plus like components means y cap y cap. So dou vy by dou y plus dou vz by dou z. Okay, this gives us the divergence of a vector function v. Now, what is its geometrical meaning? Actually, divergence is a measure of how much the vector spreads out from a given point. Okay, so geometrically, divergence measures how much a vector spreads out from a given point. How much it spreads out. It is called divergence. Okay, similarly, in the case of a vector function, vector v, each component may be depends upon all the three components. For example, the x component of vector v, vx can be functions of x, y and z. Okay, so while evaluating this divergence, you have to be a bit conscious about all these things. Okay, so divergence is gives you a scalar output. just like a vectors. The divergence of two vectors gives us a scalar quantity. Similarly, the divergence of a vector gives us a scalar quantity. Dot product of two vectors gives us a scalar quantity. Similarly, divergence of a vector gives us a scalar quantity. Now, you can do a problem to clear this concept. Find the divergence of the functions VA equal to position vector R x cap plus y cap plus z cap. There are three functions here. First one is this one, second one is this VB equal to z cap, and third one is VC equal to z cap. So what happens? If you find out divergence del dot VA, now what happens? Dou by dou x of x, coefficient of x cap, it is x. So dou x by dou x plus dou y by dou y plus dou z by dou z gives you 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus. Okay, so this gives you 3, right? Similar in the second case. In this case, it has only z component. So all other components become 0. This z component is itself a constant because it's unit vector. It will be equal to z cap. So dou z cap by dou z equal to dou by dou z of this coefficient is actually 1. So this is equal to 0. Similarly, when coming to this conduct del dot Vc, here this del dot Vc equal to dou z by dou z. So this is equal to 1. In this conduct, you have to remember the case here. This is the unit vector z cap. Its magnitude is 1. So if you take its derivative, it goes to 0. That's why in the second case you get here 0. But in the third case, here the function is z itself. So if you take the derivative with respect to z, it gives you 1. Okay. So these are the divergences. Now the curl. The curl is obtained from the action of del operator as a cross product on a vector function. So del cross V. So gradient differential vector operator acting on a vector field vector V through the cross product. Okay, just like we do in the case of cross product of two vectors, we can evaluate curl using the determinant. Okay, in this case, the x cap, y cap and z cap as the first row. The second row corresponds to the coefficients of this del operator, dou by dou x, dou by dou y, dou by dou z. And third row is corresponding to the components of the vector v, vx, vy and vz. Okay, if you find out this determinant, this gives you a vector like this. So curl of a vector gives you another vector function. Now what is its geometrical meaning? It measures how much a vector v swirls around a given point. Okay, so this curl measures how much a function swirls around a given point. For example, in the case of whirlpools, you heard about whirlpools in rivers or sea. Okay, in the case of these whirlpools, the water flow velocity vectors swirls around a point. Then there is a curl. Now we can find out curl of certain functions. The first function is yx cap plus xy cap. The second one is xy cap. Okay, so if you find out del cross VA, you have to write this determinant, and finding this determinant, you get that z cap equal to 1 plus 1, that means 2z cap. At the same time, the second problem, del cross VB equal to z cap. So there is curl. In the case of these two functions, there is a curl. Del cross V and del cross VB has curls. Okay. These are all about the concept of curl. Now, in this lecture, we learned about differential vector operators and their action on scalar and vector functions over fields. Okay, if this operator, vector differential operator, acts upon a scalar field, it produces another vector. This operation is called gradient. What is its meaning? It measures the maximum, this gradient points along the maximum change of the function, and its magnitude gives us the slope of the function along its maximal change, along the direction of its maximal change. Okay, at the same time, if this del or vector differential operator acts upon vector functions or vector fields, it has two options. Either it can act upon a dot product like action, then it is called as divergence. Del dot v, divergence. Its output is a scalar function. Del dot v gives us a scalar function. What is its geometrical meaning? It measures how much the vector, the function, spreads out from a given point. Okay, at the same time, if this differential vector operator acts upon a vector function just like a cross product, it is called a curl, curl, curl. Okay, the output of the curl is a vector. It measures how much a vector swirls around a given point. How much a vector swirls around a given point. Okay, so in this lecture, we will learn about differential vector operator del and its action on scalar and vector fields and its geometrical meaning. How can evaluate this gradient, divergence and curve? So please go through this very well and learn the concepts very well. You need it in every papers related through this physics and electrodynamics, even mechanics. In every paper you need these tools. So read well and learn well. Thank you.